And welcome back. Well, our next guest was so fun to talk to that we decided we had to have her back. Anita Clinton is a former basketball star who had to pivot when a devastating injury sidelined her basketball career.
That's right. Anita wrote this book. It is called Destiny Starter: How to Discover What You Are Called to Do and Do It. Recently, she shared great advice on ways to develop a new vision for the new year.
A lot of people know that you have a long history and a lot of accolades in basketball. That was your life for a while, and you sort of had to pivot when you had a substantial injury.
Yeah, I'd tell everyone that the early part of my life was completely 100% focused on basketball, but it also gave me some amazing opportunities to just travel the world that I probably wouldn't have had it not been for basketball. And then after that, having to pivot, it's like, okay, what are you going to do now? Your whole life has been centered around basketball. What's next? And so finding out what's next has been amazing and a little nervousome.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Very nerve-wracking. And what we're going to talk about today is dominating the new year, dominating 2021 with some great goal setting. So let's talk a little bit about vision as it relates to goal setting. Why is the vision part of it and being able to see it for ourselves so critical?
Yeah, I think that we've had a pretty interesting 2020. There's been a whole bunch of surprises. There's been a lot of unknown. There's been upheaval. There's been unrest. And so as I'm thinking about 2021, it's like, okay, this is what we've been through, but now we have an opportunity to shift gears, to pivot, and envision what we want our 2021 to look like. And research tells us that we are 43% more likely to achieve our goals if we write them down. So if you're able to kind of think through, okay, what do I want my life to look like in 2021? And then begin to create goals and commitments around whatever those things are, and then put action items around it, you're more likely, the probability of that becoming a reality for you is high, extremely high.
If you're writing it down, it makes sense because we're talking about vision, being able to visualize is huge. So let's talk through some of the areas where people might do some really important goal setting, starting with family and relationships.
Yeah, so an example of an overall goal for family and relationships is to strengthen the relationship with your kids if you have them, and or with your spouse. And so if that is the main goal for 2021 under family and relationships, you can begin to set some action items. And so an action item could be, when my kids or when my spouse are speaking with me, I'm going to make sure that I'm giving them undivided attention. And during those moments where we're having family time, we're going to cut the cell phones off, cut off all mobile devices, cut off all TVs, to make sure that we're all committed and connected inside of that time that we're spending together. And then the other important element in that is, what's the target date, or when do you want that to happen? And so that first example or that first action could be something that you do daily. So this is a daily commitment that we are going to give each other undivided attention when we're talking to one another and when we're spending that family time together.
Okay, so let's go through a few other categories. And these examples are so great. Finances. This is a big one for people. A lot of people struggling during the pandemic.
Yeah, it is. And so I'm calling the year. So each year I set a theme. And so my theme for 2021 is the year of restoration. And so it's kind of restoring, repositioning myself coming out of 2020. And so when we think about finances, savings is a huge component. And so making a commitment or picking a dollar amount that you think is going to be reasonable, that you can save over the next 12 months for 2021. And so let's just say the example is you want to save $6,000. Well, divide that by 12, and that's $500 a month that you are committing to putting into savings each month. And then another great goal is to increase your credit score. Your available credit is a huge component inside how your scores are calculated. And the bureaus love that you have 0 to 30% of your balance that you carry over each month, and or you want 70% of your available credit to be available each month for 12 months. So if you're going to carry over balance, keep it below 30% if at all possible. In addition, of course, you want to pay your bills on time, right? Because that's a huge component of also how your scores are calculated.
Yeah, I like that. Paying bills on time is a huge part of your credit score. What about as it relates to careers, our careers in business?
Yeah, so thinking about, what do you want to do? Do you want to make a lateral move inside of the company that you're working for? Are you interested in a promotion? I think that the perfect action item for a goal like that is to talk with your manager, or talk with your HR representative, and one, see what positions are available or what positions are coming up, and let them know that you're interested in those positions and begin to ask questions. Are there any certification programs or leadership training that I could take that will make me a better candidate for those positions when they become available? And as you're taking those programs and certifications, keep them up to date. Hey, I just completed the Six Sigma certification. Just wanted to let you know that I'm preparing for this new position when and if it becomes available for me.
I think it's huge to communicate that. Our company, for example, wants to promote from within. A lot of companies want to do that, but you have to express interest. So I think that's huge. A lot of people focused on health these days with the pandemic and wellness. What are some good short time goals, examples in this category?
Yeah, so this one is huge for me. Like, I have gained so much weight just sitting at home on the
A
computer
lot of
all
people
day.
have.
And so, I understand my body and I understand how it works. And so my goal is to get under 200 pounds. I am 6'2", under 200 pounds. I look great. And so I know that that only happens if I'm committed and disciplined to exercise and then to pay attention to what I'm putting inside my body. And so my commitment for 2021 is to work out 4 times a week, and to make sure that I'm eating healthy, 3 meals a day, 2 snacks, and drinking water.
See, and I like your goals because they're reasonable, they're attainable, and I'm sure that's a big part of why you choose them. Quickly go through personal growth and spiritual development if you can combine those and give us a great short-term goal that we could use.
Yeah, my mentor tells me all the time that you never arrive, right? So we're always looking, or there are always opportunities for personal growth and spiritual growth and development. And so I think that meditation, independent of what your religion is, what you believe in or don't believe in, meditation works across the board for everybody. And it's suggested that we meditate 20 minutes a day, but I break that down and start with 5 minutes a day and then kind of work your way up through the year. But just making the commitment that you're going to sit down, you're going to center yourself, and you're going to meditate. Another great example is the 5-minute journal. Are you familiar with the 5-minute journal?
No, I journal, but not the 5-minute journal.
Yeah, so the 5-minute journal, it's amazing. So it's 5 minutes you commit in the morning and at night. And essentially what you're doing is you're having a daily reflection, but you're also writing down, what are you grateful for, right? Because especially when we look at where we're coming from, there's so much that's happening. And sometimes the negativity tends to overshadow the great things that are happening in our lives. And so taking that little time in the morning and or at night to write down 3 things that you're grateful for is absolutely amazing.
Anita has this great free Vision 2021 goals template that you can download for free. So go to begreatglobal.com/goals. It's right there on the home page.